Well, it's time to head back home.
Yep.
I'll cook up your favorite lasagna when we get home, okay?
I do like lasagna. Sounds great. Thanks, Mom. However, my dad didn't speak the entire drive home. I wanted to talk to him, but after his moment at the funeral, I wasn't sure if that was a good idea.
It's about time we took off those dreary black clothes.
Dude, we just came from the funeral. I mean, if you want to make the argument that we shouldn't be in wet clothes because we don't want to get sick, okay, I could see that argument, but come on, he just died. Also, what dreary black? She is in her school outfit. Gathering my courage, I decided then that it was time to talk. Dad, could I ask you something?
Go ahead.
Okay. Why do you want me to move into the estate so soon?
I thought I made that rather clear.
You're a
The
jerk.
college near your grandfather's house is well known for its business program.
Uh-huh.
You are planning to major in business, yes?
I don't know. Am I? Maybe. Also, I haven't gotten into any schools yet, so it's kind of presumptuous to assume A, I'm applying there, and B, I got in. Mika, ...
Right after you graduate from high school, you'll just live there and can easily commute to and from school. It's a perfect fit for you.
Cool. Unless, you know, I get into school out of state. Like I said, or have to live in a dorm. Then it's just a big empty house that's gonna kill out dust. Also, you know, college is expensive. Maybe sell off the big estate that one person doesn't need and get something a lot more realistic. But it's so sudden. You just decided quickly right after the funeral.
Don't be so sensitive. If you're like
Oh,
that
you
in the
can be
real
more
world, you'll be
sensitive.
crushed.
Or, you know, this is family. This should be a safe space. I'm just saying that maybe we could talk a bit more about my future. In reply, my father rubbed his temples and sighed quietly. Oh, Lordy, this is Tiffany and Lobel all over again, isn't it?
After you graduate from college, you'll work at Anderson Family Toys.
Will I?
I have connections since I am part of the board of directors.
Cool.
So you will be guaranteed a spot.
Yay.
That is what we talked about before, yes?
Talked about, or you talked at me about it? Because that's a big difference. But what if...
Stop mumbling!
I wasn't, sir. I'm quite, well, besides stumbling over words, good at reading. But what if I don't want to work there?
Don't be silly. It's the family company. Our company. I'm not just going to hand it over to some incompetent vice chairman.
Okay, you're really hostile for some reason. Mika, ... He came closer to me and his face softened.
Look, this is all for the best, okay? You may not know it right now, but you will appreciate it later.
Maybe. You don't know. For some reason, when I heard him say that, something snapped in me. I wasn't exactly sure what it was, but it made me feel so angry. Do you even care that Grandfather passed away?
Of course I do.
Yeah, 'cause you've shown it so much through your words and actions. Well, everything seems fine and dandy to you. Things couldn't be better.
Excuse me? I don't like your tone, young lady.
Well, I haven't liked your tone all game, so meh. It's like nothing happened at all. Like you just ignored the fact that he's no longer here.
Do not raise your voice at me.
Oh, this is gonna be a fight. What did he ever do to you to deserve this? My father, his face hardened, crossed his arms, and erupted in angry laughter. I don't really think the art matches a hardened, angry expression, although the arms crossed is right.
Ha! You sure place him upon a pedestal.
I do.
Like he's some kind of venerated god or something.
No.
It makes me
I just like him more
sick.
than you. Is that it? Are you happy seeing Grandfather dead? While everyone was grieving, were you holding yourself back from laughing at everyone's faces? Did you feel just a bit happier seeing him lie in a graveyard? A flash of rage crossed his face, and he whipped the back of his hand across my cheek.
You don't know anything! Running your mouth like somehow you know everything that went on, when you're just a little girl that doesn't know how to keep her mouth shut!
Yeah. Our father, ladies and gentlemen. Our father. F you, sir. F you.
You did not know my father! You did not know what he was capable of!
Then tell her. And dear Lord, this gives me Tiffany and Lobel vibes all over again. Mika, ...
Is everything all right? What happened?
Dad hit me. Nothing. I'm not hungry. I think I'll just go upstairs. Ooh.
Honey, wait!
Also, you know, there should probably still be a red mark where she was hit, so you should be able to figure this out. Plus, this is not the first time this has happened. Which is also possible. I quickly turned and ran up the stairs to my room, slamming the door behind me. My breath came in short pants, and for a while I just leaned against the door to my bedroom, eventually sliding down to sit against it. How did things become like this? My cheek still throbbed, and I tentatively stood up and looked at the mirror to see how it looked. Hopefully it doesn't bruise. Huh. What am I saying? Yeah, what are you saying? Is this not the first time this has happened? Because, yeah. Tears formed in the corner of my eyes, but I blinked them back rapidly. I couldn't cry for a second time today. I had to be stronger than that.
Are you all right? Your
No.
father told me nothing happened, but you know your father.
This really makes me think this is not the first time this has happened. I'm fine. I just lost my appetite.
The lasagna's done, though. And I don't want you skipping any meals. Are you sure?
That was ridiculously quick lasagna to make. Unless this was just a pre-made frozen lasagna you just popped into the oven, which I guess is possible that could be your favorite, but when you say you're going to make someone their favorite meal, it implies you actually made it yourself, in my mind. And that's a weird tangent to go off on. Yeah, don't worry about me, Mom. I'll come downstairs later to eat.
You're not telling me the whole story.
Yeah, I'm not. Because I'm willing to bet you ignore this stuff. I just don't want to eat right now.
Please, dear. Tell me what's going on. I wish you would tell me why you're being like this.
Dad hit me. Grandpa died. The person she was probably closest to. Put two and two together, woman. Mika, ... I wanted to tell her. A part of me was screaming to tell her what Dad had done. At the same time, I knew she couldn't fix anything. No, sweetie. Maybe she could, maybe she couldn't, but I really don't like that line. Besides, I was moving out regardless. I guess, best way to look at it. I remained silent, letting the event remain in the past.
Well,
I wish that were an option to tell her, though.
If you want to eat it later.
Finally, my mom left me alone. It was strange to think that she was only a few inches away from me, only separated by a single wooden door. I really didn't know what to do. I needed to do something, anything, to get my mind off what just happened. Homework, call your friends, watch a movie. Anything would be better than thinking any more about getting the pain still radiating from my cheek. I was going to move into my grandfather's house tomorrow. I should probably pack my stuff so I'd be prepared for tomorrow. Yeah, that's a good point. You look like you have a pretty nice room. Yeah, that was a good idea. I should start packing. I opened the closet, rummaging around for a while before I finally found 2 large bags. Pulling them out onto the floor of my room, I then began to empty my drawers and cabinets so that I could bring all my things with me. I didn't have much to bring. Really? You don't? I mean, you look like you have books and pictures and bedding. Just saying. Other than just clothes and some toiletries, it was kind of bizarre that I didn't have many personal belongings. Yeah, it is really bizarre. It wasn't like my luggage was completely devoid of them, but I certainly didn't have many things in my room that I would miss if I just suddenly left the house. That is super weird. I shook my head to rid myself of those thoughts. If it were going to be my new home, it would have to feel like it, one way or another. I was going to make it a home. Good for you?
You turn the tables on me now. You drop me in your case somehow. I can never
Sorry, this is
escape from
ringtone.
you, but baby, that's alright.
Oh, I'd listen to it more. Just as I was packing my things, my cell phone began ringing and vibrating in my pocket. Vibrating, you say? Oh. I slid my phone out of my pocket and answered it while slowly easing myself onto my bed. Who could possibly be calling? Don't you see who's calling? I mean, I know when people call me on my phone, I can see it. Well, if it's a number I know.
Hey, Anderson, you there?
Sup? It's like a smartphone, so it should have displayed who was calling.
Is everything alright? We were worried about you, so we decided to call.
Aw, I have good friends. Mika, ...
Hello?
Hello? I'm really glad you guys called. My voice managed to come out. There was only a whisper.
What happened? Are you okay?
Not really. My dad hit me. My grandfather's dead. Oh yeah, by the way, my parents are kicking me out to go live in a mansion. It's been a weird day. Well, I slowly began to tell them about the funeral that afternoon. A small silence followed when I was done recounting what happened, and to my relief, Naomi finally spoke up.
I can't begin to imagine how you must be feeling right now.
Thank you.
I'm so sorry. Do you want us to come over right now?
No, it's okay. My dad isn't in a good mood, so could we just keep talking on the phone like this?
Of course! We'd stay on the phone until the crack of dawn. Right, Suzu?
Woo! Phone slumber party.
Yeah. We're always here if you need us.
Aw.
After all, we wouldn't be the awesome triple threat trio without you, right?
Exactly. You'd just be a dynamic duo. Yeah.
Triple threat trio? That sounds like the name of a gang.
I don't know. Sounds cool.
Yeah, I mean, we're all taking on the world together.
Woo.
We've got to sound somewhat scary, or else no one's going to take us seriously.
Really? I don't think scary is necessary, really.
What's with you and naming things?
Yeah, what is up with that?
You've got to step up your game, Naomi.
Yeah,
Falling behind to the cool kids like Anderson and me. Tisk, tisk.
I know, right?
Hey! I'm a cool kid! If anything, I'd say you'd have to step up your game.
Exactly. We chatted cheerfully about all sorts of things. Very soon I had forgotten about the events of the day. I call shenanigans at that, and was engaged in a conversation about Naomi's favorite TV show. Some program called Herlock. Herlock. Like Sherlock. Gotcha. Only it's a girl, I'm guessing. We all agreed that the actor playing the titular character certainly had a very distinctive look about him. Okay, it's a he. Cool. That the long overcoat and scarf wrapped around his neck. We had many disagreements about who we thought was the coolest character. Yeah, he had really high cheekbones, and his eyes are pretty. Though I do have to say I prefer Jatson. And as a bonus, his actor is just so sassy. I looked at the clock hanging on the wall and I realized how late it was. Whoa, it's already 1 a.m.? Sorry for keeping you guys up so late. Hey, we said we're staying up till the crack of dawn, so we still got a few more hours to go. I think I'm gonna hit the hay for tonight. See you guys at school tomorrow? Oh wow, this is a school day. Okay, yeah, you should have been asleep hours ago. I should probably shower and go to bed. I can't believe I stayed up this late just to talk to my friends. I think you needed it, though. 100% think you needed this. But it was really nice. Well, to the bathroom I go. That's oddly cheerful to announce. Hi-ho, hi-ho, it's off to the bathroom I go. Wow, that's just a weird thing to proclaim and be that happy about. I took a relaxing shower. Nothing beat hot water and the feeling of being clean. I agree, it is a pretty damn good feeling. After drying myself, I promptly dressed my pajamas and crawled into bed. Nice hot shower after a long day. I'm so glad to finally be in bed. It had been a really long day. It really had. Plus, not staying up till 1 a.m. probably didn't help. I knew that I was wishing for something to change back in class, but I certainly wasn't expecting any of the things that happened today. And I have to go back to school tomorrow. Ugh. I curled up on my side and tightly wrapped the blankets around me. I really wasn't in the mood to be returning to school, but my dad probably would make me go just for the sake of it. Dad's seeing how your father is probably, although you really should have been given this day and the day of the funeral off, especially given how close you were to him. It's time to go to sleep. I reached out to the lamp on my nightstand to turn off the lights. However, my mind was lost in the passing of my grandfather, and the thoughts of inheriting something so big that it haunted my mind the entire night until the next morning. I shook my head to try to clear the sleepiness out of me to no avail. I really didn't get any sleep last night. No, you probably didn't. Understandably so. It's already time to wake up. Wait, school? As soon as I realized I had to go to school, I slid out of bed and looked at the vanity mirror. And that's a relief. Luckily, there was barely a bruise on my cheek. You had to squint to actually see it. I doubted anyone would actually notice it unless they leaned in really close. I don't know, it's high school. Little changes people will notice. Breathing out a sigh, I got dressed, took my backpack, and caught the bus to go to school. Aw, my parents don't drop me off? Boo. Really, I don't even have my own car. It wasn't even hours before everyone heard the news. I was approached in school and given condolences for my loss. However, that wasn't what shocked my friends. It was the bruise on my cheek.
So you have the whole Anderson house to yourself? Lucky as hell, man!
No, not really.
Quit being so sensitive, Naomi.
No, I think Naomi's completely in the right here.
Quit being so vulgar, Suzu.
Yeah, Suzu. Naomi's right, Suzu.
Oh, man, come on!
But no.
See? She knows about proper public taste.
Exactly. Why are we friends with you again?
I know how to be a lady. Sheesh.
Really? I'm not so sure about that. Guys, I'm going there after school today because my parents want me to get used to living there. Yeah, let's just go with that theory. Not your father hit you.
Seriously? It hasn't even been a day since you came back to school.
I know. But my parents want me to try living there as soon as possible.
Still, that's really fast. Are you going to be okay?
Probably not. But what's the worst that could happen, really? Of course. But even in the comfort of my best friends, life seemed to keep testing me. Oof.
Hey! Don't go around shoving people like that.
Whoops. Did I strike a nerve, Capini?
Hello. Now you see, she is a blonde. That is what I think of when I hear blonde. Not what Naomi's hair is. I'd actually say Naomi's more of a redhead, personally. She let out a small laugh as she twirled her hair around her finger. Lizette, one of the last people I wanted to see today. Rivalry, rivalry.
It's not me you should be apologizing to.
I know, right?
Oh, Anderson. Hey, how's it going?
Let's see. My dad hit me, my grandfather's dead, and my parents are kicking me out of my childhood home. Not good. I'm all right.
Haven't you already heard, Lizette?
Of what?
Her grandfather's passing.
Thank you.
Well, I'm sorry about that. I don't really watch a lot of news.
Wow. Just wow.
It doesn't really sound like you mean it.
Agreed.
I do mean it. Earnestly. Why wouldn't I?
Because we're rivals? Because you phrased that super weird? Because your tone was super weird?
Typical Capini. Isn't her family involved with the mafia or something?
Hey!
I wouldn't be surprised if she brought out a bat from behind her back right this moment.
I wouldn't either, to be honest, but also, I don't know what's behind her back. The art hasn't changed. Also, good call on naming you Rude, girl. Well, I did not know the girl was common last name. Who knew? I had nearly forgotten the crowd that followed Lizette, which was mostly comprised of people that no one wanted to see on a typical school day. You mean the popular kids? No one had the slightest idea why exactly they followed Lizette around precisely, but they labeled themselves as socially equal to her.
That is out of line. Suzu comes from an honest family.
Does she?
Says the one whose family profits from political scandals.
Oh, I have interesting friends. Also, nice to meet you, Snobby. Is Rude your sister, your twin? What are we talking here?
Yeah, your dad doesn't make anything unless he's in the court with dirty politicians.
Shut up.
Hey, let's all calm down for a second, alright? I'm sure Anderson needs some time to recuperate. I mean, what just happened? We need to give her some respect.
Thank you, Lizette, unlikely voice of reason. Thank you. Mika, ... Also, don't look angry, Mika. She's totally right. Just stop. Stop acting like that already. Like you feel sorry for me. Oh, wow, girl. No, wrong reaction.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, what are you talking about? I'm sure you're happy seeing me like this. You already have everything you've wanted. And now seeing me like this, life couldn't get any better. Okay, Mika. I get you're stressed out. I get you're sad. This is taking your anger out on the wrong person. Bitterness seeped into me, and words started flying out of my mouth without filter. But honestly, I didn't care. I was so consumed by anger that I only saw Lizette in front of me. Yeah, girl, deep breaths, count to 10 and walk away. Nothing good is going to come of this. What exactly am I to you? Just another part of your obstacle course? Is that what I am? I'm sick of it, Lizette. I'm sick of all these charades. I'm sick of you. Gasps arose from the crowd around her, and I was brought back to the school hallway. Even my friends beside me looked at me in surprise. Yeah, I don't blame them. Girl, you're going off the deep end. Stop. One girl looked like she was going to speak up, but Lizette held up her hand to stop her. There was an emotion in her face that I couldn't quite make out, but I could see a form of pity in her eyes. It would be nice if the art matched this pity. She just kind of looks pissed. No, don't you dare pity me. I looked away from her. I didn't want to see that emotion in her eyes when she was talking to me. She didn't have the right look to look at me that way.
I'm sorry. I know your grandfather passing away must have really taken a toll on your emotions.
Thank you. Also still unlikely voice of reason. Mika, are you sure? Are you sure maybe you're not just projecting her bitchiness at this point? Mika ... She stepped towards me and put her hand on my shoulder, giving me a tiny smile, as if for old time's sake. But for some reason, I didn't feel comforted at all. Not that I was just angry at her. The expression on her face when she leaned in close to me contorted into something complex. And again, it'd be nice if the art could match this. Something was different about her. I couldn't quite place my finger on it, but something about her had definitely changed.
Well, I'll be going for now. Track meet responsibilities and all of that stuff. See you later.
Later. Mika, stop looking pissed. Something about Lizette made me feel uncomfortable. I wasn't just angry, but also uneasy. What was it? I had never seen her like that before. But I decided to pay no further attention to it. She continued running down the hallway with her gaggle of friends behind her. I refocused my attention to Mrs. Phillips, who was walking down the hall towards me.
Is everything all right, girls?
No, not really.
Nothing we couldn't handle, Mrs. P. Just a bunch of snobs.
I would actually argue we're kind of in the wrong here.
Suzu, hush! It was nothing, Mrs. Phillips.
I see. Well, Miss Anderson, please accept my condolences for your loss.
Thank you. Thank you, Mrs. Phillips.
Your grandfather was a good man.
He was.
He really upheld the philanthropy of his company's policies.
That's what it's
And the
pronounced.
money that went towards charity, too.
Yeah, he was a good guy. I know. He was amazing. I really looked up to him, and I want to be as good a person as he was.
Well, I know that you'll be as great as your grandfather.
Aw, thank you. Hugs.
Hell yeah, she will. She'll be 10 times better than her grandfather.
Hey. Would I? Would I really be better than my grandfather? Everyone seemed to have high expectations for me. I wanted to do my best to make my family proud. But to be better than my grandfather? I mean, come on, you designed how many of these toys. You got this. I wasn't sure about that. They are big shoes to fill. From outside the school window, I saw a familiar blue car pull up to the curb. Undoubtedly, it was my father in the driver's seat. Oh, my ride's here. Well, I guess I'll see you tomorrow.
Want us to come with you?
Yes, don't leave me alone with him. Oh no, it's okay. I'll be fine. See you. This can only end in good. And by good, I mean not good. Hey, Dad.
Hey, honey.
As I got into the car, I noticed my father looked troubled, clutching at the steering wheel and staring straight ahead, as if something was really bothering him.
About what happened yesterday. I'm sorry for yelling at you. Does your cheek still hurt?
Yes. Yes, it does. Son of a bitch. No, it's nothing to worry about. Bullshit.
I mean it. I shouldn't have laid a finger on you.
Damn straight.
You know that you're my most precious daughter. You're all that I have.
Uh-huh. I'm your heir, in other words. Which is why you're kicking me out. Mika, da-da-da. Yet he couldn't bring himself to say what he could never say to me for such a long time. Always wanted to hear those words to affirm how he really felt. But, I guess, even now, he couldn't say it to me. Oh, that's sad. I turned my head away to look out the window. There was no point in waiting for something that was never going to come. Or you could say it first. Just saying. And, like that, he started to drive. The conversation between us ended. I decided to focus my attention on the passing scenery. We were taking the usual route to Grandfather's house. It was located within the vicinity of the school district, but it was still pretty far from the school and from where our house was. He had always lived alone. He insisted on doing things by himself, even at his age, living in such a large house. Oh, I don't like that combination. I'm not saying the elderly shouldn't live alone, but when they have a big estate, maybe at least have one other person on to help. Because, it only takes one slip and fall, and, the cliche of help, I've fallen and I can't get up. It doesn't come from nowhere. I wondered, did he pass away with no one at his side as well? It sounded so lonely and sad. It was strange that he had decided on living all alone in a large estate. If anything, he could have lived with us. Given your father's attitude, I doubt it. Though he and my father probably would have given each other silent treatment the entire time. Maybe living alone was preferable to that. Yeah. I actually hadn't visited him for quite a while. Visits to his house were most frequent when I was a child, and I had grown up long since then. The last time I visited, though, I thought he looked just as usually was, happy and healthy. But things change. At the back of my mind, I knew that he would have to leave one day. It wasn't like humans could live forever. Well, maybe we could. You know, just saying. So why did my heart feel so heavy? Because someone you loved passed, and you're grieving. The opposite of what your father is doing. The car ride was mostly spent in silence until he spoke up again.
How was school? Maintaining your grades, I hope.
You're trying. My patience. Yeah. I've been trying my best as of so far.
Trying? That's not really doing the best you can, is it?
Wow, you're a dick. Mika, ... I don't mind your silence this time. With my father, only some words I said were filtered through his ears. It was difficult to keep up a conversation without eventually talking about academics or my future, even if it was something loosely based on it. He always found a way to interrogate it whenever we talked.
Anyway, your belongings are in the trunk.
Thanks.
There isn't a lot, so I'm sure you can manage bringing them inside the house.
Gee, thanks.
After all, you are on the road to being independent now.
Thanks. You're great. Yes, I can manage on my own. Usual silence resumed between us. I really wasn't sure what to say around him, especially when most of the time we didn't share the same opinions. One question did linger in my mind, though. If he was going to justify acting so nonchalant at Grandfather's funeral, I had the right to at least know why. Because relationships are complicated? Maybe he's a good grandfather to you because he was a horrible father to him? Just saying. You know what? Let us try again. Because, why not? Say, Dad, about you and Grandpa.
We are not talking about this.
That's what you think. I feel like we should, because Grandpa did leave us yesterday, so...
I wouldn't care if he had left even long before that. I do not want to hear it, and that is the end of this conversation.
Wow. Father of the Year, everybody. As always, he managed to shut down any other form of conversation related to him. I was just like what happened last night. Hopefully this won't end you getting slapped, because if it does, yeah, time to call the police. I opened my mouth slightly, but I closed it again. It was like talking to a brick wall. It wasn't like I could find out anything by somehow arguing my way through it. Alright then. Wow, you gave up too quickly. I leaned against the car door and stared out the window. I really couldn't think. What would this place be like? I had been in my grandfather's house before, but it was one thing visiting, and it was another thing actually living there. And I agree. As someone that went from the US to Sweden, and the difference between visiting someone and living with someone was light years different experience. How would I manage living on my own without any training to really care for a house? Exactly. I knew that naturally the bills would be paid by my parents. Well, that's convenient. Who inherited grandfather's stocks to the corporation, but had never lived independently before. Thinking about it made me feel like some kind of bird being pushed out of the nest. Though I was technically an adult, I felt unprepared and a bit daunted at the prospect of actually moving into a new place. As you should. As I repeat, still in high school. Most people my age would be ecstatic at moving out. I am not one of those people. After all, it would symbolize some kind of change in their lives, like being on the road to independence. But I felt like that was nothing of the sort. I really hoped I wouldn't let my parents down. I wouldn't want to let grandfather down. What would he be saying right now? Get out! I'm sorry my son's a twat. I gazed up at the passing clouds in the sky. If you're out there, grandfather, how would you be doing? Would there be anything you'd want to tell me at this moment? Sorry my son's a dick? I don't know. And of course, no answer. What was I doing? Searching for an answer in heaven that would or would not exist? I ducked my head to stare at the blur of trees in the car window. My head was definitely going on the clouds there at the moment. Either way, I found myself being driven off to my new home. The car rolled to a stop, and I drifted out of my thoughts.
Here we are. Go on in.
Gee, thanks. Thank you for everything, Father. All right, tell Mom I love her.
All right.
Hugs? I love you, Dad. Hugs, darn it. Love me. No, make sure to come by and visit us often. No, I'm going to miss you lots. Nothing other than a blank stare. I want to believe in this moment he's trying, he just does not know how to reach out to you. I paused a bit before reaching for the car door handle, waiting for any form of goodbye that he didn't speak again. I sighed and exited the car, hearing my dad pop open the trunk. I saw the 2 large bags I packed last night that were large enough to carry only the things I needed. I took them out, placing 1 bag on each shoulder, and closed the trunk. He then drove off, leaving me alone in front of the mansion. I watched the blue car fade into the distance on the road before turning to see my new home. It is quite a nice estate, I will say this. And yeah, that is going to be a lot of work for one person. There it is. It's huge. That's what she said. My grandfather gave me this. It's hard to believe. The house was framed by a set of tall gates, and I hastily pushed them aside to take in the entire estate. The house still looked like it was when I visited him. At a glance it seemed kind of intimidating with its size, though if I came closer it was clear that there was more to it than that. The brick walls were framed by shrubbery and lovely flowers, giving it a homey and welcoming look, but in contrast the tall doors into the house gave me a feeling of grandeur. Who knew that we were waiting for me? But I wouldn't back down at this moment. I took the key to the front doors and unlocked them. Well, may as well make myself at home. I'll be staying here for quite a while anyways.